All right, guys, thank you for joining me on Instinctive Addiction today. I got a good one for you here today. Decided to do something that I've been aiming to do for quite a while, and I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? What I've had, let me grab my arrow and show you what I got here. Okay, so I've had this set of 400. I've had a set of 400 gold tip traditionals, okay? Gold tip traditional 400s, and these are arrows that I actually ran last year. I actually shot them. Great shooting arrows. I would shoot these out of a 50-pound bow with 300 grain smooth on the front, okay? Excellent broadhead flight, no need to change anything, but I wanted to make them a little bit stronger, but keep the same setup, okay? Basically, I wanted to make these arrows as indestructible as I could, so I ordered some ethics for them. So let me show you what I got. All right, guys, right here are the ethics. This is what you get right here. When you get a .244, which means a 246 inside diameter with an outside diameter of a .299, which is slightly bigger than what this is. In other words, the 244 to 299 is what you need for a gold tip traditional 400. Now, you can order ethics for any and every arrow you want. All you have to do is look up on their chart exactly what kind of arrow you have, and it will give you the outside diameter. Just remember, you have to go at least one size bigger for the collar to be able to go up on the shaft even after you sand it, to allow room for a little bit of glue, but you still want a tight fit. You don't want anything loose because you'll never get it to square and spin a broadhead right. So you want a snug fit, but it's got to have enough room to actually go on there. So they do have a chart, which makes it easy. Okay, so these arrows here, let me show you what I was running. Just pulled these out. This was a 100 grain brass insert. 100 grain brass insert, and I was running a 200 grain broadhead. Grizzlies, as a matter of fact, is what I was shooting on here, 200 grain grizzly and some cutthroats. However, I want to go to 150 grain broadheads because I want to shoot Magnus. I love the replaceable blades, the sharpness, not having to sharpen them at the table every night and all that stuff and keeping them touched up. So I love the Magnus buzz cut 150 grain head. So in order to rebuild these arrows and make these work, to keep 300 grains up front, I have to make my total insert system weigh exactly 150 grains. Then when I put a 150 grain broadhead, which is going to be my choice to shoot this year, no matter what it is, I'm just going to shoot 150 grain head on most of these arrows. Okay, I put a little more insert weight and a little less broadhead weight, and it just seems to work really good for me. Okay, so to do that, I've got to have 150 grains worth of insert. Now, as I showed y'all, right here, these are 200 grains finished. You see it says 125/200. That means that the shortest you can cut this, if you cut it, it has little notches on them. I'll pull one out and show you. It means if you cut the post, this is a steel post, if you cut it all the way to the bottom notch and put a sleeve on it, you're going to have 125 grains total. However, if you only cut 2 of them off, you will have 150 grains, which will be 100 grains of post and 50 grains of steel sleeve, giving you 150 grains. So that's what I did, guys. Saving you the time of showing me my cut, and I'll show you what I did with it, but that is 50 grains, 20 and 20. Solid steel, okay? What I did is I took the trusty Dremel with a cutting disc on it. Take a Dremel, put in a pair of good pliers that grab it really good, set it down on the table, and all I did was cut 50 grains off, 2 notches, 20 grains, 20 grains, 20 and 25. That's how they got them laid out. Cut exactly 50 grains off, leaving me 100 grains of post. So now, I have 150 grains worth of insert, okay? What you have to do after you do this, now I'm going to use hot melt because once you use hot melt with these, you're not going to have to go back and do them again. You're not going to have any problem with them coming out because these posts are so long and you have a collar, they're just not going to come out. So what I do is I take, first of all, once I pulled any inserts out or whatever, before you put an ethics system on, you got to make sure that you're going to have a really good fit, a good flat fit. I take my squaring tool in my drill. Little squaring tool you can get from Three Rivers, Lancaster, anywhere on earth. You know, once I've squared that thing up good, just like that, that's all I do. And I clean acetone. Take some acetone. You don't have to be elaborate. You can Q-tip if you want to or whatever, but it gets the dust out. Okay, gives you a good clean shaft to work with. Now, one thing I didn't show you that I did was sand. There it is. You see my sanding marks. All I did after I had these arrows cut to the desired length, which I did not recut these because they were a little bit long. They were about 1 inch long from what I really needed. Okay, so you want to make sure you don't cut them too short because your collar will set back roughly 1 inch. Okay, so these arrows, I went ahead and I made sure that they were squared up. I sanded just about far enough all the way around that collar would get a really good bond, and then when you clean it with acetone, the heat melted glue is going to work. Okay, you don't have to use epoxy. You can if you want to, but you'll never get it out. Okay, so that's what I did right here. I've got a shaft, and now I've got 100 grain post, 50 grain collar. I'm going to show you guys how I do this now, and I'll show you the finished arrow weight here. It's going to be a good one. All right, so what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do, you get your little thing, you just put it in a set of pliers here, lay your hair out, fire up your torch, not too hot. And if your glue stick is getting short like this one is, it's better to grab it with a plier than your hand. All you want to do is barely heat your post up just a little bit, get it warm, get your glue going. And make sure you get plenty on it. Don't short. Okay? Don't short the glue. You want to make sure you got plenty on it. Alright, so now, hot glue, put it in, spin it, push it down, press it down on the table and let it hold there for just a minute, just a second, okay? Then, immediately after, you got your collar in your hand, don't heat the carbon up, just barely make sure that glue is still good and pliable. You want to slide that on there. All the way down. Make sure it goes all the way. They are a tight fit, okay? Once you have that done, there's nothing left. Letting your glue cool off for just a second. Peeling it off. You definitely don't want to grab it hot. That stuff will burn you. But anyway, let it cool down. It just peels right off, and you will have a finished Ethics System arrow. So when I put a 150 grain head on this, which is what I'm going to shoot, I will have, here's one right here, a 150. Man, ain't that pretty. I will have a total arrow weight, turn the scales on here, of exactly 592 grains. 592. Okay? I shoot Luminox on everything I shoot. Every arrow has a Luminox when I'm hunting. I strictly hunt with Luminox, okay? I'm not gonna hunt without a lighted arrow. I want to see where it's going. Put the Luminox in, a finished hunting arrow, finished. 617 grains, 617. Double checking. $615. Exactly, 615 grain arrow. All you do then, this glue has dried enough that you just peel. Well, you don't want to let it get completely hard because it gets really hard to get off there once you let it sit for a little while. Just give it a couple of minutes. And there we go. Now, I have what I call an indestructible arrow, okay? Being that it has this steel collar over my shaft versus just the 100 grain brass insert that can actually allow on impact, can allow the end of the shaft to shatter. Now it's not going to. I don't care what I shoot this arrow into. This thing is going to be tough. It is going to flap. and I already know how it shoots because I had these 10 with 300 grains up front to 3 of my bows actually, and shot like bullets, man. So there we go. Still got over 600 grain arrow, tough as nails, very simple. So guys, that's it. That's how you do the ethics system on a gold tip traditional, bad to the bone. Hope you guys enjoyed this and found it helpful. Thank you, and as always, God bless you.